Hossein Ensan is 55, silver-haired, and calm. Under the bright TV lights, he stacks chips worth more than most houses. Hard to believe that not long ago, those same hands gripped a taxi steering wheel on rainy German nights. Hossein was born on May 22, 1964, in Iran. Life after the revolution was tough. So, in 1989, he moved to Germany, hoping for a fresh start. He studied civil engineering, but the money ran out fast. To pay rent, he drove cabs, painted walls, and took any odd job he could find. Night shifts were long and lonely. But one evening, a co-worker invited him to a €5 poker game above a bar. Hossein noticed something right away. Driving a taxi had trained him to read people, who was nervous, who was relaxed, who might be hiding something. At the poker table, those instincts paid off. Soon, weekend games replaced extra driving shifts. He wasn't chasing fame. He just wanted a little extra cash for the family budget. But he was different from the young online pros who were starting to dominate poker. He was older, spoke accented German, and had bills to pay every Monday morning. Each night, he and his wife balanced the numbers together: groceries, rent, kids' clothes, and maybe, just maybe, one small tournament entry. It felt like fitting a dream into a tight budget envelope. Still, every time Hossein shuffled chips, a thought kept him going. What if steady effort can beat long odds? He didn't know it yet, but that question would carry him all the way to the biggest stage in poker. Hossein's first big step came in August 2014 at the European Poker Tour stop in Barcelona. He was 50 years old, an age when most serious pros have already peaked. But he paid the €5,000 buy-in anyway. 7 long days later, he was still there, staring across the final table at players young enough to be his sons. He finished third and pocketed more than €650,000, money that erased every late-night taxi memory in a single wire transfer. But the spotlight felt strange. He slipped quietly back to Germany, bought a reliable family car, and kept running his small shuttle service. The win lit a fire. Hossein spent evenings replaying televised hands on his laptop, pausing the video to guess what the pros would do next. When he couldn't find a sitter, his 8-year-old daughter held the phone camera steady while he practiced hand history speeches in the living room. One lesson kept returning: trust your read, but confirm the math. 9 months later, in December 2015, that work paid off. At EPT Prague, he battled through more than 1,000 entries, reached heads-up play, and this time did not settle for third. A quick handshake, a short prayer, and 20 minutes later his pocket tens held against ace and queen for the title and €754,000. Even with the win, he refused the high-roller lifestyle. "I will never risk my children's future," he told reporters in slow, careful German. Poker, though, gives as much as it takes. Between 2016 and 2018, Hossein had long stretches with no six-figure scores. Travel costs bit into savings. A deep run could vanish with one cooler, king and queen cracked by ace and 5, and 20 hours of play gone in a heartbeat. Many nights he wondered if his age was finally a ceiling. Instead of quitting, he changed gears. While younger grinders memorized solver charts, Hossein doubled down on table presence. Eye contact, breathing patterns, tiny tremors when chips hit felt. "People show you the answer," he liked to say, "if you're patient enough to wait for it." In spring 2019, he made a bold decision: play the World Series of Poker Main Event in Las Vegas. The $10,000 entry fee was too steep to swallow alone, so he sold small shares to friends and former taxi clients. One elderly passenger insisted on buying 1%, saying, "I want to ride with you one more time." Hossein promised to wire any winnings the same night he was paid. Day 1 of the main event felt like every other tournament, until he bagged up more chips than he'd ever sealed in a plastic WSOP sack. On day 2, he doubled with 2 aces against ace and king, and suddenly reporters wanted quotes from the German amateur. By day 5, the Amazon room buzzed each time he scooped a pot. His patience was working. He had not once been all in for his tournament life. Late on day 7, only 35 players remained. Hossein sat on a tower of chips worth nearly 80 million. During a break, he pulled out his phone and called home. "Papa is still first," he told his daughter. She answered with a giggle and a single word, "Whiter. Keep going." He did. At dawn on July 12, 2019, the last card of Day 7 hit the felt. Hossein bagged a stack larger than the next two players combined. The final table was set, and a former taxi driver led the biggest event in poker. Reporters scrambled for backstory. TV producers hunted for old photographs. German sports pages printed the headline, "Silver Fox in Las Vegas." Hossein walked back to his hotel alone, tournament badge dangling around his neck, chips already sealed away. The Vegas sunrise painted the parking lot pink. He thought about every overnight fare on Münster's empty streets, and every time he'd told himself to keep believing. Tomorrow the real fight would begin, but tonight he allowed one quiet fist pump in the elevator mirror. 9 players, 3 continents, $10 million on the line. Hossein sits at center stage, chip leader but still an outsider to most fans. He sips water, steadies his hands, and tells himself the same thing he told cab passengers for years. Enjoy the ride. From the start, he keeps the pressure on, raising small, folding big, never panicking. Crowd favorite Gary Gates busts in 4th. British phenom Nick Marchington exits in 7th. Each knockout shrinks the field, and the age gap grows more obvious. When a commentator calls Hossein old school cool, he cracks a shy smile. After 13 hours of play, only 2 men remain. Hossein Ensan, 279 million chips, and Dario Sammartino, 235 million chips. Italy versus Germany. Experience versus flair. The duel lasts 100 hands. Hossein leans on patience, small pots, careful value bets. Dario fires back with check raises and a fearless 5-bet bluff that pushes Hossein off ace-king. For the first time all summer, doubt flickers across his face. He steadies his breathing, watches Dario shuffle chips, and waits for the moment people always give away. Hand 301. Hossein is dealt kings, the king of hearts and the king of clubs. He raises. Dario calls with 8-4 of spades. Flop. 10 of spades, 6 of spades, 2 of diamonds. A dangerous board for kings, but Hossein's read says bet. Dario flat calls. Turn, 9 of clubs. Sammartino checks, then moves all in every chip, drawing to a straight and flush combo. The room holds its breath. Hossein studies him for 8 long seconds, hears the tiniest hitch in Dario's voice as he counts his stack, and says the 2 words every taxi passenger loved to hear. "Let's go," he calls. River, queen of clubs. Blank. Hossein's kings hold. For half a second there is silence. Then the Amazon room explodes. Hossein raises both fists, eyes wet, then turns to the rail where friends wave tiny German flags. At 55, he is the oldest main event champion in 20 years and only the 2nd German ever to win it. Asked what changes first, he grins. "Tomorrow I drive my own car, just without the meter running. $10 million, a gold bracelet, and a story that proves steady effort can still beat stacked odds." And that's how former taxi driver Hossein Ensan destroyed the pros for $10 million. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible poker underdog stories.